Today we are joined by Dr. Xenia Loizidou, Chair of the Board of Directors at Active Project and Research Center. Dr. Xenia is a leading expert in coastal and marine sustainability and climate resilience, with a rich background in engineering and environmental science. Dr. Loizidou has collaborated with organizations like the UN and the European Commission, focusing on marine pollution and climate impacts on coastal regions specifically. In this short interview podcast, we will discuss the climate crisis impact on water resources and coastal areas, as well as practical solutions for water management and coastal production. Dr. Loizidou, thank you for being here and welcome.
Thank you, William. It's great to be with you today.
So let's begin with our first question, which is how will climate change affect where and how much fresh water we have, and what can we do to manage water shortages in areas that need most?
Okay, we know that Mediterranean is a hotspot of climate change, and this is why we say that in Mediterranean, and especially in East Mediterranean, we don't have climate change, but climate chaos, not even crisis. This means that the weather conditions are changing very, very fast, much faster than the rest of the world. Having said that, I don't, of course, climate change and climate crisis affect the water availability. We have less precipitation, but not so much less that can justify the shortages. So I would say that we have climate change impacts, but we also have human activities, and this is why we should make a distinct, we should identify in a distinct way what we mean by shortage and what we mean by less precipitation. So shortage is what we have, which means that we don't have enough water to meet our needs, which means that our needs are high and water consumed. I will tell you an example. We have as a priority in Cyprus for tourist development. One of the priorities is golf courses. So golf courses need so much water. We water golf courses from dams, river dams, but also from the water coming from desalination. Desalination plants that have been licensed in Cyprus didn't have the obligation to use alternative sources of energy, renewable sources. So we have desalination plants that use fossil fuel for the energy, and we have these plants providing water for golf courses. One golf course requires as much water as one city of 40,000 inhabitants. Yes. So I just took this example to see that it's not okay. It is. We have issues with climate change, but water shortage is by I would say 80% a result of bad water resources management.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that, and it sounds really,
It's also agriculture. Agriculture absorbs 80% of water consumption in Cyprus. Yes, but what we could do about this could promote species farming, species that do not need so much water. Instead, since 90s, there is this policy of uprooting the indigenous species of vineyards, like Sinsteri. All these species were arid; they didn't need water. We encourage, or I'm saying the official government. Okay, there was this policy. 33% of our our vineyards that didn't need water and where the endemic species have been uprooted, all this land became desert actually. Desertification is advancing. And the farmers were encouraged to plant other kinds of farming, like olive trees or other kind of vineyards like Cabernet or Merlot that need water. So you see how policies affect water balance, water budget, I would say, and why you have shortages.
Interesting. Yeah. So, moving on to the next question. Yes.
Took a bit long.
No worries. It's really interesting information you share with us. With rising temperatures, increasing water demand, and worsening water quality, how can we effectively balance water use on agriculture, urban areas, and industries while ensuring everyone has access to clean water?
Well, I don't see that at this moment in Cyprus we have problem of water quality in this sense. I will just go as a bit of the answer of this question. I've already said some things. The way we plan, for example, agriculture, promoting species that need a lot of fertilizers, this creates electrification of the aquifers, and we have deterioration of water quality in our aquifers. If we change the policies that target these kind of agricultural products and move into products that are resilient to the changes of temperatures, and if we tackle the big issue of desertification, which is very rarely mentioned, but this is the biggest problem of climate crisis in Cyprus. 80% of our land is under desertification, is becoming desert. And 25% of our land is not cultivated. Farmers just gave up. So it is becoming desert. This is the biggest problem. And this is the earth lost its connecting the humus, as we say, connected substances, and it's becoming desert, and it's much more water than it's a healthy earth needs to grow all this kind of vegetables or trees or whatever. So if we don't tackle desertification and if we don't tackle nitrification of aquifers, we will not be able to improve the situation. It's not only climate change.
Okay. Now let's shift and go to the sea levels, the rise of the sea levels. And what should coastal areas, to your opinion, do to protect themselves from flooding, and how do we decide which places are worth protecting, which are not?
Okay, I'm going to ask you something. If you give me the correct answer, I will offer you lunch.
Okay. Let's try.
What is sea level rise in Cyprus? What is the sea level rise in Cyprus?
To be honest,
nobody knows.
Okay.
This is the answer. Because it was never a priority to have some tidal bodies around Cyprus to see what is the sea level rise.
So we have been examining it.
We don't know. No. There are so many declarations, but actually, what is sea level rise around Cyprus? Nobody knows. What we know, as scientists studying marine areas, is that the Mediterranean is actually land. We have the 6 kilometers of Gibraltar, which don't allow a lot of movement around the water masses of the ocean and our sea, Mare Nostrum, and the Mediterranean. So we don't measure, we don't have monitoring systems to know what is sea level rise around Cyprus. We know, however, that within the Mediterranean, the major problem is extreme weather conditions. This means storms, more frequent and more fierce, more stronger storms. So we have flooding, have floodings of coastal areas because of the storms, but also mainly because of high urbanization. And our coastal areas lost their ability to absorb water. We don't have floodings, so often floodings from the sea. Mostly the floodings are from rainwater. And because our cities are the joy of concrete, there are not systems to drain the cities. So we need systems to drain the cities. We need systems to free the cities from so much concrete, which is not the case because urban development in Cyprus, not only in Cyprus, but we're talking about Cyprus, urban development in Cyprus is means more concrete. We can see the common areas like the squares, they are all concrete. So why wonder if why we have floods? Of course, we would have floods. And it's not a matter of coastal activity.
It's a misconception of development.
Yes.
And yeah, one last question. As someone with expertise in participatory decision making, as I said, as a social model for managing shared resources, what strategies can communities implement to protect their shorelines and ensure the safety of residents on that flood and that impact of climate crisis? While also considering economic and environmental impacts.
I think there are a lot of things that can be done, a lot of policies to be implemented, a lot of incentives to be funded because in order for the people or the local authorities to do something for their areas, they need funding. And there is this funding available. It's not given where it is mostly needed. I want to say here that each coastal area is a different dynamic system, so cannot treat all coastal areas the same way. One size doesn't fit all when we are talking about coastal areas. So that's why we are very much diving into participatory processes to collective intelligence. Because sometimes people who are there and live there know what they can do for their areas. There is also a lot of misconception and challenges put because we don't have data. So decisions making by the decision makers for infrastructure, for example, are not data driven or evidence driven. They're just decisions taken either because there is this client kind of relationship among politicians and citizens, and also because it's a matter of misperception. So I would say that we need to measure. I'm an engineer anyway. We need data. We have data, but we need to deal with data in a more consistent way. And we need to keep in mind that what I said, one size doesn't fit all, and we should work customized way to find the solutions for each coastal area.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time, for the information shared with us, for the answers. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. It was very interesting.